Hello, welcome to the 16th Climate Change Rally, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It is April 12th, 2019. I usually start off giving a report about the CO2 levels and everything, but the Mauna Loa laboratory is offline for some odd reason and has been offline for several days. So either they're having an issue with their statistics and their sensing devices, or there's something more sinister at play, which could be the case as well, because the government, our U.S. government, is anti-climate change and in fact does everything they can to thwart any activity concerning climate change, because they're in the pockets of big oil and big oil's in their pockets and passing legislation. There's too much money in play. Anyhow, the CO2 level has been between 411 parts per million and 414 parts per million, with a spike up to 416 parts per million. The reason why this is significant is because 350 parts per million is the upper limit of survivability for humans. It takes 10 to 15 years for the temperature to catch up to the CO2 level. So right now we're living back in somewhere around 2004, before the iPhones really kicked in heavily and all the Chinese manufacturing with coal and whatnot. So there's going to be a hell to pay over the next 15 years. So we're at 414, 411 parts per million, and 350 is the survivability. There's no push to get anything done. So anyways, my tack today is going to be a little different. Usually I rant and rave about the lack of people out here. As usual, it's just me by myself. My wife will show up about 20 minutes from now. But I'm going to go up and talk about other issues. Everyone's saying you can't do this, can't do that, or this become a political issue. And here's the facts on it, okay? If you went solar and wind power and changed the grid so it could handle all the extra input from all the extra electricity, you'd have jobs by the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Plus trainability. You need to train these people how to put in solar panels and solar shingles and wind turbines. So from an economic point of view, even though we have a businessman supposedly in the White House, they fail to recognize the importance of economy, and it's a win-win situation by doing this with manufacturing and producing and installing of these devices. From a patriotic point of view, again, this is an anti-political thing that's going on in our government. 2/3 of our U.S. bases are in jeopardy due to climate change. This is a Pentagon report. This is not something I'm making up. So if you're against climate change, you're basically not being patriotic, because you're against the military. All right, did you get this? 2/3 of the military bases are in jeopardy. This is a Pentagon report, not me making it up. Okay, on the family structure. Everyone's saying, oh, we got to keep the migrants away and do whatever. Okay, you want to keep the migrants away? Control climate change, all right? Stop producing CO2, go electric. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people pouring into the United States. That's the reason why they're coming up now from Central America, because of all the drought and the food insecurity down there. They are starving to death, and of course they would leave their country. So if you want to do the patriotic thing, you want to do the right thing, it's start working on the CO2 levels, all right? So now on to the moral point of view. Hold on. All right, from a moral point of view, we say we're a Christian nation. Oh, we're all about God. We're all about helping other people. Okay, you got migrants coming across, keep them out. You got children coming across, put them in cages. So from a family structure point of view and a moral point of view, it makes sense to take care of the CO2 level now so people can have a good life elsewhere rather than here, and also within our own country. We got people drowning and we got people starving. It's going to happen this summer because of Nebraska and Iowa with the farmers. All right, from a livability point of view, all right, you got potential sea level rise. So now you got our coastal cities, which are already suffering. Miami's having clear sky flooding due to tides. Sea level is rising. You also have Norfolk, which is a big naval base. They have periodic flooding all the time. So, from a livability point of view, if the sea level rises, all of our coastal cities, all of your wonderful vacation land on the beach and everything is in jeopardy. You're going to have massive storms. Instead of being Category 5s, it's going to venture into a new Category 6 category, which isn't even invented yet, but that can't help but happen. All right, from a food point of view, you got food, you got drought, you got heat, and you got snow, because the jet stream's totally messed up. It's not, it's right now the wind's not blowing, and then we're going to get heavy rains. In the Midwest right now, you got the cyclone bomb going on. So it's taking out all of our food production in Nebraska and Iowa. What do you think's going to happen with our food? You got livestock. They said over 1 million calves have died due to drowning in the Midwest. So the beef industry is in big trouble this summer. Okay, so that's your food issue. You got flood, drought, heat, and snow. Now, from electrical grid point of view, the heat can destroy the electrical grid. Floods can do it. Also, if it gets hotter out, which it will with CO2 level, if you know your basic science, it's going to get hotter, so it requires more air conditioning. So then that'll bring down the grid through brownout or blackouts altogether. You have a nuclear issue. So you have, let's say your family's in jeopardy, and you're a nuclear physicist or whatever working at a nuclear plant. Are you going to stay home, take care of your family, or are you going to go into work for the nuclear facility? Of course you're going to stay home, take care of your family. So then you got 280 some facilities around the country that are going to melt down or have various reasons that they just won't work right, and you got radiation escaping. So what do you think's going to happen around the country and around the world when things break down and the scientists don't report to work at the nuclear facilities? Okay, so also you got migrants. You got hundreds of thousands, as I said before, potentially millions of migrants pouring over the border. Walls aren't going to stop it at that point. You're going to have to gun everyone down or let them in. We have more than enough room in this country to support extra people. We're just, you drive across this country. If you've seen this country, you know that's a lie. It's saying we don't have enough room. All right, so you also have a lack of insects. I don't know if you've noticed, when I was a kid, you used to drive 100 miles and you have to clean off your windshield because it was so full of bugs. Now, literally, if you drive down in North Carolina or Florida, you might hit one bug and you know it when you hit the bug. You go, oh man, I just hit a bug. So obviously the insect population has been decimated. There are no bees around, relatively speaking, except homegrown ones for pollinators, and the basic pollinators aren't available either. Okay, now you have oil subsidies. You talk about socialism. Oil is the biggest subsidized thing we have. All right, it is absolutely total socialism. They're an organization that we subsidize to the billions and billions of dollars. And you wonder where your money goes? There it is. I mean, you could put that money into solar and wind power, and we'd be all fine. So, and they're buying the politicians and buying the legislation. So all in all, there's a lot that can be done, and we're choosing not to do it. This town is just loaded with truck, SUV, and there's no thought process about electricity. So we all need to do little things. As I've been saying over and over again, take up your lawn, okay? There's no reason to have a lawn service coming by, and there's also no reason for you to be fertilizing your lawn, which goes into the Chesapeake Bay or wherever estuary you're near. So you need to dig up your lawn, plant shrubs, plant trees. There's no reason to be mowing grass every week. It's an insane thing. So next week's rally is on next Friday, 11 o'clock. Tanya just got here. Say hi, Tanya.
Hello.
So our rally just doubled, so, which is really sad. We laugh, but it's extremely sad. So anyways, talk to you next week, 11 a.m., and y'all need to get it woke. All right, hopefully see you out here or see you somewhere.